So welcome to Teledemocracy. Did you check the levels to make sure my audio is going out good, Linda? Go check that. We're doing some experimenting here tonight, folks. I've got a friend of mine, her name is Linda, and she's running the control room for me tonight. She's never done it, so please bear with us. But we're going to talk about some things tonight. Everything good, Linda, on the volume? Okay. Okay. This is Teledemocracy. Number is 477 ACTV. And I'm going to get right into it. Please call in. The number is 477 ACTV. Now, I guess I'll just get right into this and we'll go for it. In between phone calls tonight, I'm going to be throwing out some stuff to you, so in between each call, and so please call in and give your comments or how you feel about things, and we will take it from there. This is strange for me not being in the control room, so you have to bear with me. And the number is 477 ACTV. The first thing that I want to do is talk about the state legislature that's coming into town. The boys are coming into town in a few days, I believe. They come in once every 2 years to start passing laws. Now, why they come in every 2 years is beyond my comprehension. I think they'd want to be here all the time. You know, like the whole state shuts down for 2 years and we can only do laws every 2 years. But anyway, more importantly than that, these guys in the state legislature are a bunch of, I'll just get right to the point. In my view, they are a bunch of morons. The whole state legislature, because they're not passing laws that the people want. And I will give you a bunch of examples. Number one, you can be out of jail if you have a good lawyer and you murder somebody. You can be out of jail in 2 years. 2 years you can be out of jail for murdering somebody. Now, these guys aren't doing nothing. They're not passing any laws that really mean something. You rape somebody, you can be out of jail in 2 years. You kidnap somebody, good lawyer, you can be out in 2 years. If you sell a child, sale of a child, you can be out in 2 years. Arson, 2 years. If you shoot someone with a gun, you can be out in 2 years. If you're a juvenile and you shoot somebody with a gun, you can just be released to the custody of your parents. Now, what is the deal? The state legislature is not doing nothing. They're sitting on their ass, passing laws that are good for them and are going to get them richer and for special interest, and the real laws that mean something, they don't do anything. And this drunk driving deal is a big deal. You know, people have been crying out for I don't know how many years, pass some laws for drunk driving. We've got MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, who've been trying for years to get something done, and the legislature comes in here and doesn't do shit. Here's for DWI, you get you a good lawyer, you pay a fine, and that's it. That's it. First offense. And I talked with MAD the other day, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. we thought that first offense for drunk driving should be probably, at the very softest, a month, 2 months in jail without parole. First offense, DWI. 3 months in jail without parole, something like that. You know, pass a law that means something instead of these little crazy laws. If you do a terroristic threat to somebody, if you call in and say you're going to blow up a building, $500 fine, that's it, and you'll be on your way. Stalking, if you stalk somebody, car burglary, very light penalties. But what I'm trying to say, folks, is the legislature's coming into town and they're going to razzle-dazzle you, saying they're passing all sorts of laws. They're not passing anything. be out of jail in 2 years for murder. Now that's absolute insanity, and I hope you will call your legislatures and get on their ass and tell them to start passing some laws and quit pussyfooting around. Okay, I'm going to go to a call here real quick. You're on the air.
Good evening, Greg. How you doing?
I can't hear them in here.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me
Linda,
now?
do you have the...
Hello? Hello? Hello?
There it is, Linda. I can
Hello?
turn it down just a tiny bit, Linda. Yes.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Good.
I was watching the news tonight. It said 123 million people admitted driving drunk.
Well,
Isn't that incredible?
It's so stupid. Drunk driving, you can pay a fine and that's it.
Well, I'll talk from experience because 8 years ago I was a driving drunk myself.
I've been there myself.
And I know that the reasons I got behind the wheel is because I was just inebriated, and you can't make decisions when you're inebriated.
Hold on just a second. Linda, be sure and stay close to that phone slide, okay? What do you think first offense DWI should be?
It's really a hard number. I think they should have mandatory treatment as far as...
How about 3 months in jail, no parole?
That sounds okay.
First offense.
That sounds okay.
And you know, this Mothers Against Drunk Driving have been trying for years to get something done, and the legislature refuses to do anything. They passed this little weenie law that says you lose your driver's license for 30 days. Big deal.
That is a weenie law when you really think about all the deaths, or even one death.
That's what I'm saying. This legislature is a bunch of weenies.
It's stupid. They have to wait till 1 billion people die?
I know it.
You know, it's really sad, and I thank God that I didn't hurt anybody but myself and the family around me. But it's just, you know, when I wasn't driving. But, God, man, it's really pathetic, because I know every time I drove, you know, I thought I could drive most of the time.
Yeah.
Denial is real heavy, but they didn't talk about denial on the news.
Well, the real thing that I'm angry about is this legislature is not passing real laws. They're pussyfooting around.
They ought to have something on the inside of the car that you cannot drive no matter what if you've got any kind of intoxicant within your... I
think 3 months in jail would pretty much tell a person that he better straighten up, wouldn't you think?
Well, it might get some people the message, but you know, some of these people are terminal.
First offense, 3 months in jail.
I mean, I think it's insane that we're driving around killing machines.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I as one, have been very guilty of that in the past, but I thank God almost 8 years.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's about it. I'm angry about that, too, and I think it's really sad that they've done all the work they have done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let me, Mothers Against Drunk Driving wants me to announce something for them. They're having a press conference January 14th on the South Capitol steps at 10 a.m. and this is to welcome the new legislature and let them know to start passing some laws that mean something. It's just incredible. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been trying for years to get something real passed, and the legislature refuses to do it. Oh, I'm mad as hell and I ain't gonna take it no more. But anyway, the press conference, January 14th, South Capitol steps at 10 a.m. If you need to contact Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the number is 442-6441. Number is 442-6441. Okay, enough on the legislature while we're waiting for some calls to get screened. Let me go on to the next subject. I guess basically what I'm going to say is there is a corrupt network set up here in Austin. Just like you've heard me talk about the world elite and the world is corrupt. That same system exists here in Austin, Texas. There are the elite in Austin, Texas who run this complete town. And it's a network, just like with the world government. Austin is just a microcosm. And I believe this network is made up of judges, insurance executives, bankers, real estate people, politicians, drug dealers, and people from all walks of life. And there's a network set up here, and it's also in our business community. And they control everything in this city from behind the scenes. I'm not getting this over as good as I wanted to, so I better put my paper down. I don't know. I can't think how to tell it to you the right way. Anyway, there is a network set up, and this is just my opinion, but that's what I believe. Just like, let's take for instance the mayor's race. We have Ronnie Reynolds and Kirk Watson, whatever his name is. It's my opinion that both these people are running for mayor, and these people are placed there, folks, by the people who really run this town. And it's a network. And they're the ones that come out and tell you, you know, that growth is great, and Austin should grow and promote growth, you know, so they can get rich. And in my opinion, Ronnie Reynolds is placed there by the elite of this town, and Kirk Watson, who I don't know very much about, but it's still my opinion that he's placed there too. So whoever you vote for mayor, it doesn't matter. They're still going to be running the show. And by the way, Max Knopfsinger is going to be running for mayor, and I was real glad to hear that, so I'd definitely vote for Max. I don't think Max is bought and sold yet, but just give that some thought. That didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but basically what I'm trying to say is Austin has a network within inside itself too, and a network of corrupt people, and they run this town. They decide. That's why you see Southway Parkway being built when nobody didn't even need it, and it was built anyway. You know, that's why you see an airport that's perfectly good be torn down and build another one. Just wasteful things. While I'm on Southway Parkway, I'll get right to you, caller. Daryl Slusher said we should close down half of Southway Parkway, and that is just about the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. That ranks right up there with the rain machine. You know, see this paper right here? This paper is black. That paper right there is black. Southwest Parkway, perfectly good road, and we're going to take it and close half of it down. Have we lost our minds? You're on the air?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good.
Good. I was wondering if you could tell me, I saw your show once about Mars, and I was wondering if you could tell me if you think there's life on Mars and why.
I think there has been life on Mars. There's, if you saw the show, there's artifacts there. There's artifacts. There's no doubt about it. The mathematics is there.
So you think it's just a matter of time before we see what's going on?
I think it's just a matter of time. I was on the internet today, and I saw some footage so incredible. Galileo just passed by one of the moons of Jupiter,
right?
And it was 800 miles above the surface of this moon. Took some photographs. This was 2 weeks ago, and Richard Hoagland, who did the Monuments of Mars, got a hold of some photos, and it shows a city. It shows a city. I mean, it's incredible, incredible pictures.
So do you think that we'd have to be pretty cocky to think that we're the only planet with life?
Yeah, yeah.
You think we definitely be ignorant?
I think so. To think there's not anything out there.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Oh, let me see. One other thing. Now, you want to see about this network set up in town here? Here's a good one. There's a group called, I think they're called the Citizens for a Little Less Corruption. They're the ones who did the petition for campaign contributions. Check this out. This is what happened to these guys. They needed 29,000 signatures in order to pass a petition to, no, I'm sorry, they only needed 16,000 signatures to pass a petition so the city council members could only receive $100 contributions. They only needed 16,000. They got 29,000 signatures. The city clerk threw out 14,000 of them, which left them 1,000 short of their signatures. And on top of that, the city won't let them go out and get their extra 1,000 so they can pass the petition. Now, you don't think there's a network set up in this town running the show? They're defeating a petition that would limit campaign contributions. And somebody up there in their ivory towers don't want that to happen. And that's what happened with that petition. You're on the air.
Hello, Greg.
Hey.
Hi, I had 2 points. One was about the Southwest Parkway.
Yeah.
What is it that Daryl Slusher said?
He wants to close half of it down.
What do you mean, like close certain lanes of it? Or
Yeah, 2 of the lanes down.
I never heard about that.
That's about like the rain machine.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, that road was to go out to developments which were never built. And so I guess the road's not used very much, but I have some friends who go out there and practice driving stick shift.
Yeah, but
it's good for that.
But it's built. It's already built.
Yeah, it's already built, so why close it down?
And Sammy was wailing against it on KVET today.
Oh, really?
And he took a poll from his callers, you know, should we close down half of Southwest Parkway or not? And virtually 100% of the callers said, no, it's crazy.
Well, why would you? I don't understand that.
I think, you know, it's just like this. This isn't white. This is black.
Right.
See that? That's black.
That's black, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the other point I wanted to make was about mothers against drunk driving.
Uh-huh.
It's my understanding that one of the things that they're in favor of is setting up checkpoints around the town, just random checkpoints, movable checkpoints, where they will just stop cars at random. And I would say I'm not in favor of that.
Why would
that's something we have to be careful about.
Why would you need to do that when first offense drunk driving, 3 months in jail, no parole?
Well, I don't know.
Think
is
that would
something that MAD supports? That's your
No, that's just something I'm throwing off the top of my head. Wouldn't that stop you?
Well, yeah, it would. But
if you knew that you were going to go...
MAD is supporting is this idea of checkpoints.
I don't know.
At least that's my understanding.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That don't sound too cool to me.
No, that sounds, well, kind of like a police state.
Yeah.
So we do have to be careful what we support in terms of getting rid of the problem. You know, but why have to be careful.
Right. But why do that when you know the first time you get caught, you spend 3 months in jail?
Right.
I think that would be a deterrent.
Yeah, it would. All right. Have a good show.
Okay, thanks. You're on the air?
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Listen, we need one more bowler for our bowling team. Would you like to join my bowling team?
Bowler. You sound like a bowler. No, I never got into bowling. I don't know why. Okay, let me see what we got here. Let me give you just a brief update on the Eric Mobius story. It's still going on basically, and he has not gone to trial yet. We'll see if he does. He went to trial and was disbarred. Well, let me back up a little bit. He's a lawyer here in town who alleges money laundering and corruption through the filing of death claims in some of these murders around town, yogurt shop, things like that. And just some points that I'd like the public to think about. The autopsies on the yogurt shop murder girls, they were sealed, and so nobody ever got to look at them. And this was a highly unusual move by a judge who sealed the autopsies, and this hadn't been done in 15 years. So that's the first red flag to me. If the money laundering is not true, then let's open them up, let's check it out. If everything's okay, that's all right. The second red flag for me with Eric is that Eric was found not guilty by a jury, and then the judge overturned that and disbarred him anyway. So, you know, what kind of justice is that? you go and a jury finds you not guilty and you lose your license to practice anyway. And he was fined $175,000. And the highest disbarment case for a lawyer before Eric was $20,000. And they gave Eric $175,000 fine. That's a 900% increase for a fine. So that smells fishy to me. And Eric's been on my show. I'm going to switch cameras here. Linda, if you can get on this. This is a subpoena. After I had Eric on my show, the district attorney's office came down to ACTV the next day and subpoenaed the tape of Eric on my show the next day. Okay, you can switch back now. But that's pretty much what's going on with Eric still. Number is 477-ACTV. It's a live call-in show, anything that you might like to talk about. Until I get some calls screened, I'm just going to hold off here. I think I like my control room better, to tell you the truth. I've got to be honest with you folks. I like it better in my control room. I got control then. I got master control of everything. I feel like I'm naked out here. Anyway, next thing, ACTV. ACTV has changed its name to the Austin Community Access Center. Why? I don't know. I was never informed about it. Not that I should be, I guess, but it just came as a complete, it's like little fairies were in the background, back in the woods, thinking this thing up, and then all of a sudden they come in and spray dust over us, and it's Austin Community Access Center. And I think it's completely wrong myself. Why would you take a 23-year tradition? ACTV's won 2 awards. Everybody knows this is ACTV, and then all of a sudden to throw this on us, I'm just not in favor of it. And something else about, they're changing up things. They're giving 16mm classes in film production, and all this other stuff is going on now. And I thought ACTV was for people to come here and get on TV and give their ideas to the community. I thought that was the reason for ACTV, and now we have all these 16mm classes and all that stuff. And this isn't a college or a University of Texas. This is a place for people to get their views out. And that's my, you can find Teledemocracy webpage at that HTTP. And for you computer people, there is a tilde right in front of dream. A tilde is a little horizontal wavy line. So there's a tilde right before that D in dream. Our high-tech equipment here does not have a tilde. Or you can email at dream@bga.com. But anyway, about ACTV, I just think they ought to keep it the same. And the number is 477-ACTV. And please call in and give your opinions about things, and I will be right back. Folks had to get some Coke. Linda, you want to put that other page up there, if you would, please? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Greg?
Yeah.
I'm from out of town. I was just watching your program, but you rung a bell with me a while ago about this controlling of Austin.
Right.
And government and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
We came up with an idea on how to combat some of these controlling factors, and we're just putting them into effect. I thought you might be interested in it. We're getting people who are Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and having them donate $12 a month. All of it going to elect the people that the people want, instead of the ones that are thrown at us. excuse me, and we just getting ready to get this kicked off, and it's going to be all volunteers. And I think the problem with the government, like you were talking about, or any controlling factor, is that we've got all of our people segregated into little divisions,
right.
and our people are not getting the opportunity, or taking the opportunity.
Well, you know what?
Hey, let's stop this stuff and let's do it the way we want it.
You know what the problem is? The corrupt people in this town who are running this town have placed Ronnie Reynolds, and this is just my opinion. I don't know anything about Kirk Watson, but my suspicion is that he's placed there too. People think these mayors just pop up and it's just kind of magic that they're going to run for mayor. I bet you any amount of money both those people are placed there to run this city. The bigwigs in this town are backing those two people.
Greg, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
You know, American people we're all volunteers. We really want to do what's right. I think that's true with all American people.
I agree.
You know what? With the position you have there, if you could get 1,000 volunteers to start putting something together like this, it wouldn't take you long to really become a major factor in voting people in and out of this town.
Sure, we have the power to get this town back in our hands in 20 seconds if we wanted it. You know, the first thing we could do is amend the city charter and say anything over $10 million has to be approved by the voters.
Oh, God, that would be...
Right there, you could bring democracy back to this town and nothing flat.
Well, Greg, I really appreciate you letting me get my little say in. And, you know, this country is great. We just need to get the people together. The politicians are all together, and they're working for themselves.
Politicians, judges, bankers, lawyers, street people.
But what they're afraid of, Greg, is you and I getting together and saying, hey, let's change things.
I agree.
And if we could get 1,000 people in Austin, Texas, to work and donate time to get people elected, you can control this city.
Well, even better than that, I think the fastest thing we could do is vote for Max. I don't think Max is bought and sold, but I think these other two candidates are bought and sold without a doubt.
Well, of course, I can't comment because I'm not acquainted with his history or anything of that sort, but I really do appreciate your program. I appreciate the things you're talking about because we all need to converse with each other. We're not talking enough to each other.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Hi, Greg.
Hey.
Hey, I just turned your program on and caught the tail end of what you were saying about what they had done to Eric, and yeah, that's pretty nasty. It's kind of like the same thing that Clinton started in Arkansas and gotten all the way to the top now with his
I think the people of Austin know about Eric now, and they know the autopsies for the yoga shop murders were sealed, which is extremely irregular, and a judge did that.
Yeah.
So I think people's ears are perked now.
Yeah. Well, I hope something can be done about that. I mean, I hate to see Austin taken over like the country has been, and you know, and people not having much of a say, even in their voting.
Hell, why should you vote when Newt Gingrich lies his ass off to you and they keep him in office?
Yeah.
What's the use of going to vote?
Well, that's just it. See, and that's just a minor thing compared to what we got in as the president going the same
Exactly. Exactly.
And
guys dealing cocaine in Arkansas, murdering people right and left.
That's right. I know it.
What good is it to go vote? Because the people that are running for the offices are bought and sold.
That's right. We don't have a choice in this country. I mean, they tell us, well, you can vote for Dole or the president, Clinton, and that's what the elite put in there for us. I mean, it's not a choice from the people. You know, they're not nominated from the people. And then who knows whether the outcome of the election were Democratic or not.
Yeah.
There's no organization of the people that tells whether these were real votes or not. I mean, it's no different than Mexico or Brazil or any place else.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say that.
Okay. I appreciate you calling in.
All right.
You're on the air.
Greg, I just wanted to call in and alert everybody to...
Turn it up a little bit, Linda. I can't hear him. Go ahead, sir.
Just wanted to alert everyone to the situation in the nursing homes.
Oh yeah, those are an outrage.
Plus the it appears the money launderers have moved into that area.
I believe that. That's an easy place to do a death claim.
Yeah, the heat is on here in Austin about, and also Houston, the Easy Marts. They were going around there killing the attendants and posing that there were hate crimes against Vietnamese, but it turns out now that it looks like site-specific. So with all this heat and awareness, they're now moving into nursing homes. In fact, Bill Marshall, the unemployed gambler that lived in the condo next to the yogurt shops, is now working in a nursing home outside of San Antonio, north San Antonio.
Okay, well, if you hear more information about this kind of stuff, call us and let us know.
Yeah, so everybody out there, if you got a parent in one, to keep a close eye on them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This town is corrupt to the gills, just like every other town throughout America, because there has been a network set up. And folks, this network wasn't set up in a day. It took thousands of years to set up this network. It's been going on for thousands of years. And the corrupt people control everything. You know, you get on TV and you see all these documentaries, how Vegas was so corrupt 20 years ago. And there it is right there in front of your face, the corruption. But you think that Las Vegas isn't corrupt today when you go to it. The corruption is, it took years and years and years to set up this system. Look at our accounting system. That can tell you right there. The accounting system was set up by crooks. It's just a code where you can go in and hide money wherever you want to hide it. If you could figure all that shit out, you could do your own accounting. But they set up this little code deal, you know, that you got to debit and credit, and this is not really this. This paper is black. That's a black piece of paper, folks. You know, the accounting system. And there was one other thing that I wanted to say beside the accounting system, if I can find it, our tax laws. I mean, our tax laws, you can tell they were set up by the corrupt. They let corporations out of responsibility for anything. Stuff like that. This is a weird show for me, folks. I just don't feel right in here. In this studio. I want to be back in my control room where I got complete control. And the number is 477-ACTV. If you have anything that you would like to talk about, please call in. I'm going to go get another drink of water. They won't let you have water in here. So I'm dying of thirst. And I'll wait for some calls to get screened. 477-ACTV. Okay, let me just say, while I'm waiting on some calls, I emailed the University of Texas to find out how much money they take in a year for football. I don't know, this is just something I'm interested in. I'd like to know how much money they take in a season for football attendance. I think their tickets are $40 a ticket, if not more, and there's 80,000 seats, something like that. That's a lot of money. But anyway, I emailed University of Texas to find out how much money they take in a year for football, plus concessions and all that. So I'm hoping to get that information to you, and so far I've had no response from them whatsoever. I think I've emailed them twice. And from what I understand, University of Texas football is not technically a part of the University of Texas. Call in if anybody has any information on that, but I believe that's correct, that the University of Texas football team is technically not a part of the University of Texas. So if that is true, they shouldn't be calling them the University of Texas Longhorns. I'll be jumping around here a bunch, folks. The second thing that just something I want to inform viewers about, new information, Pearl Harbor. I found out, and a lot of people have known this for a long time, the United States government knew about Pearl Harbor way before it ever happened. And the National Security Agency, they refused to release Japanese radio communications intercepted the week prior to the bombing of Hiroshima. And so, from what I understand, they knew about, the United States knew that they were coming over to bomb us. And from what I understand, the president didn't know about it, but some of the bigwig military people did, and they wanted an excuse to be able to go over there and attack them and test out the bomb. And they knew the American public wouldn't accept it the way it was, so they just let them bomb Pearl Harbor. And that immediately gave the American public a reason. They said, you know, well, they bombed us, we need to go bomb them back. And it was all a lie. So folks, history is a lie. It's a complete lie, almost all of it. What we're teaching our kids. Half the stuff we're teaching our kids in school is a complete lie, especially in history. So if you have any comments on that, please call in. The next thing, I saw an ad in the paper where the federal government is increasing the national park fees. To come in the national parks, they're going to jump up the fees. And folks, your tax money pays for these parks. Your tax money pays for Zilker Park, national parks, everything. You shouldn't need to pay when you go in a park. Your taxes paid for that. They've figured out a way to double charge you. And we go, you know, like little trained monkeys and do it anyway. The number is 477-ACTV. If you have any comments, please call in about anything I've said. If you want to make a comment of your own, please do that too. And I'm going to wait for some. Right now I've got all the lines open, so nobody's calling in. This is real strange for me because I usually never run into this, but there's no calls at all. So this is not an entertainment show, folks. I'm not here to entertain. So if you want to say something, please call in and I'll be back in just a second. You're on the air?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. Well, what do you think about this currency thing? How long is our currency going to last, and when do we get converted over to plastic only?
What's your opinion on it?
Well, the year 2000, probably 1999. Won't be long.
Who knows? It's a wild world. You never know.
Well, okay, I thought you might have been able to shed some light on that. I mean, it's something I heard on another one of these shows like last year or whatever.
Well, the Federal Reserve, the people, you know, who run all the money, it's not even part of the United States government. The Federal Reserve isn't. And it's owned by private people. So that's where the problem is right there. And as far as the credit cards, I think we should probably always have, you know, regular money. But I think it should be money that's worth what it is. You know, not these sandwich coins with stuff in the middle. If it's a quarter and it's silver, it needs to be all silver and be worth exactly what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm worried about, you know, them taking our money. That's, you know, that's where I'm coming from. And,
yeah.
You know, you know, I heard that you'll, whenever they decide to do it, which will be by the year 2000, you will have like 6 months to trade in all your cash before it's null and void. But
anything else?
Nothing.
Okay, thanks. You're on the air.
Hi. Well, I just tuned into your show, and I was so surprised that you didn't have any callers. And
yeah, this is a real strange night for me.
Well, I'm so angry about so many things that I could talk your ear off.
Go for it.
Well, I'll start in on that currency thing. I think it's a real bad idea to convert to credit cards totally, and we should resist it because I read this book by Margaret Atwood, and the way that things happened in that book was all the people had credit cards, and they decided that women should not spend anymore, so the government took away all the women's credit cards, and the women had no more spending power. And
be a good way to control you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it'll happen. I think we'll always have money around. I don't think the people will stand for it. Whoops, I think she took off on me. Let me see if I can get her back. No, she's gone. Sorry about that. You got accidentally cut off. Number's 477 ACTV if you would like to talk about anything. Let me make sure I've gone over everything here. It's funny how you think that I thought tonight was going to be one of the best shows I've ever done. It's turned out to be one of the worst. But that's okay. That's okay. Keep on rolling along, right? You're on the air.
well, I'm back again.
Yeah.
So I just figure I'll just keep talking until you want to get rid of me, because I don't want you to be alone up there. So another thing was I recently read this article about how they were investigating the Agent Orange thing, and all of a sudden the government turned off their lead investigator. They dropped him.
Duh.
They just cut the string on him, and even a lot of other officials are saying, I don't understand why. This guy's such a good documentarian and he has a lot of credibility. Why did they just get rid of him? And so there's a thing to watch.
There's lots of things to watch.
That's part of the trouble, is that there's so much going on in our complex society, and people just lose track of the arguments, and they get tired of watching it, and they don't stay with it till the people get prosecuted.
The whole ball game is it's about corruption. This whole society is ate up with corruption. Until you get it out, nothing's going to change.
Well, another issue that really chafes me is the deal where some states said that they wanted marijuana to be available for people to smoke.
And then the federal government, then the federal government comes in and says, no, democracy's not right. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I was actually a Clinton supporter in the beginning because he seemed like a hip guy, because he liked music and movies, and he played the saxophone, and he joked about not inhaling and stuff. And now he's turned into a...
That's his job, to come off all sweet. That guy, you know, he's one of the most corrupt of all of them.
Well, he sure lost my vote.
Yeah, when you're dealing with Democrats and Republicans the way things now, they're all bought and sold.
Another thing I wanted to mention, well, there is going to be a hemp rally at noon on Friday protesting this deal about the federal government doing a turn on people.
Hey, if the people of Arizona passed it and they voted for it, that's democracy.
Well, I hope everybody will come out to that rally. It's at noon, probably at the governor's mansion, since they've got the place torn all up now. And then also there was recently a protest about the tire burning, and that tire burning is really terrible, and I just want everybody to be aware of that, because it's costly and it's polluting.
Where's it going on at?
Buda.
Who's doing it?
Well, I don't know exactly the name of the company, but it was advocated by the Texas Resource something. Oh, rats, I don't have my paper handy. But anyway, it was advocated by all the officials in the government as being an okay thing to do, and they didn't investigate the kind of pollutants that were going into this.
Smoke, black smoke going up in the air and everything. Oh yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Well,
you see this paper right here? This is a black piece of paper right there. You see that?
Yeah.
It's black.
Okay. Well, I think you're getting some more calls now, so thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. You on the air?
Myself?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Yes, I wanted to make a few comments. I kind of scattered out, but the main thing that I wanted to get out to the people is that there has got to be something done about IRS. I mean, it has to be done immediately. I just got through doing a bunch of work with my CPA, and he told me that if I knew what the American public as a whole was going through with the IRS, that there would be a revolution within a week.
I believe you.
And I personally know what they're doing to me, and I don't know what I can do about it, but fortunately I can handle it.
What are they doing to you?
Garnishing wages.
What do you explain that? I don't.
They just arbitrarily decided that I owed them some money from years past, and just called me in and said, okay, we're going to take this much money.
Oh, okay.
And with no evidence, no documentation, just an estimate.
There's no need for you to pay. I think the average American citizen pays probably 50% of their salary goes to taxes today. That's ridiculous.
Well, they just decided to come in and take $50 a paycheck, $50 out of my paycheck, per check, which is considerable. And it happens. It's happening to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about it is that you virtually can't do anything about it. There's nowhere you can go. The IRS doesn't even have a program that you can call to protest this thing.
Oh yeah. They do that on purpose.
It's such a bureaucracy. I mean, who do you talk to?
I tried to email the governor the other day. He doesn't have an email address.
Oh, yeah, right.
Duh.
I can't, I've called my congressman, legislature, whoever, my representative and everything. I can't get a hold of them because I get a hold of...
Because they're little rats. They run around and hide everywhere. That's why.
Yeah, and I get a hold of one of their helpers or representatives or what have you, and I can never talk face-to-face or at least on the phone, person to person, to anyone that might be able to look into this for me. And my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do.
Listen, I got to move on, but I wish you good luck and keep in touch, okay?
Thank you.
Keep us informed what's going on.
You bet.
Okay. We only got 10 minutes, folks. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to talk about this McCaffrey guy.
Okay.
I don't understand how he can just get on national television and say that the notion that there's medical value of marijuana, there's no shred of evidence or anything. I don't see how he can get up there and get by with saying that.
Is that what he said? There's no evidence?
Yeah, he said there's not a shred of evidence.
He's a moron.
I don't see how he can get by with that, and then they're sitting there saying...
hey, if they can, if Newt Gingrich can lie his ass off to you and they can put him right back in office, hey, that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. It's a corrupt system.
That's how it works.
But they have this pill, Marinol.
Yeah.
And I heard that it's like makes you insane because it's like THC. But you'd have to smoke like 5 pounds a day for like 5 years to get like that much.
Of course, marijuana has some medicinal purposes. You'd have to be a moron not to know that.
Yeah, but I can't believe he can say there's not a shred of evidence that there is any medical value.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
So, I mean, that's pretty... And he's a 4-star general appointed by Bill Clinton.
Well, just don't hang around stupid people. We'll be all right, I guess. He sounds like one of them.
Yeah, just don't believe the news. Nothing but a big show.
Okay, listen, I got to move on.
All right.
Later. You're on the air. Hello?
Greg?
Yeah.
Okay.
the tire burning issue that the lady a couple calls back was talking about. She was talking about the Texas Lehigh plant. It's a cement plant in Buda.
Texas Lehigh plant?
Yes, sir.
And they're burning tires?
They burn tires in their kiln.
What's the smoke look like coming out?
It's basically a white smoke.
Is it thick?
It depends on the atmospheric days, but you know, whether you've got a humid day or whatever.
I mean, does it look pretty nasty or does it look okay?
No, it's just kind of like a smokestack of smoke, you know.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell because a lot of the nasty stuff could be invisible.
It comes out as ash, and there have been lawsuits in Buda for a year as far as the ash on.
How does Buda feel about it?
They're against it.
Are they? The word on the street in Buda is they don't like it?
That's the main group that's pushing it because the plant is not downtown Buda, but it's about 2 miles south of Buda.
Huh.
But that's one thing I've known about. I've worked at the plant for a while.
Oh, you work there?
I did some subcontract work.
Yeah.
Years back, but I know about that issue.
Okay.
The one point you brought up about Pearl Harbor, I do believe something like it. I believe that the federal government does do a lot of cover-up.
They knew about it, absolutely. I have a friend who worked in the National Security Agency, which is a part of the CIA.
Right.
And I asked him about it. I said, is this true? And he said, absolutely. They knew.
I can believe that.
And they wanted an excuse to start the war. They wanted the American people, they knew they would be up, wouldn't be behind them. So they let them bomb them, and that pissed the American people off, and they had an excuse to go to war and test the bomb.
That sounds, extremely feasible, and this is coming,
Well, they have secret radio documents they refuse to release. That tells you right there. That tells you right there they knew.
Well, the only thing is, as far as me, speaking out against the government, it's like if you can't beat them, join them. And I work for a division of the government, which I don't feel respectful for, but I do my job and I do it, very well. It's they're gonna, I have to pay taxes and I'm gonna get my share, so I figure I might as well get some money on the inside. But as far as the other caller who called in, as far as them garnishing his wages, that kind of brings up another point. What about the state and federal taxes on gasoline? Most of us have cars. We have to purchase gas. So we have to pay the state and federal taxes on, gallons of gasoline. In that, can that be deducted off your income taxes?
I don't know. I don't know all the legal stuff. All I know is you're paying about 50% of what you make is going to taxes in some form or the other. They got these little pretty words like franchise fees, service fees, screw charge, whatever. When it boils down, you're paying about 50% of your salary goes to taxes.
And every single thing is the
hotel and motel bedroom tax.
Right, that's tax.
You're taxed every time you turn around. And they're sucking it up, and we're shelling it out.
Well, I tell you what, I was doing some channel surfing. I caught your program. I like what you have to say.
Well, thanks.
And hopefully I'll keep flicking you on.
Next Tuesday, 9 p.m.
All right, you have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
You're on the air?
Say, somebody called up earlier about the money launderers. I'd like to ask any of the Lanier Vikings out there if they know, any of them that might have known Eliza Thomas.
Who are the Lanier Vikings?
Well, the girls that were killed at the yogurt shop were Lanier Vikings.
And what are those? Cheerleaders, you mean?
No, they're just people that go to Lanier High School.
Oh, everybody goes to Lanier as a Viking?
Yeah, like it or not.
Okay.
But anyway, Eliza Thomas, she received her first communion a week before the murders. What we're wondering, was that a pure coincidence, or did somebody encourage her to take that first communion?
First communion? What do you mean? What do you mean by first communion?
In the Catholic Church, you have to be in the state of grace to take communion.
And she took her first communion in the church she goes to?
Yeah, a week before she was murdered. Now the question is, did she voluntarily do that, or did somebody coerce her into going in and taking her first communion?
Okay.
Okay, now if anybody out there knows where Skip Sarossi is, we've heard that he's
I've heard about
school in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I've heard about him. Eric's talked about him.
And then we also want to know, outside of what the Vikings may offer, is Darrell Croft, the security officer who was at the yogurt shops the night of the murder, who saw a guy in a green fatigue jacket go in the bathroom and never come out. Well, we want to know, was he ever interviewed by APD? And if not, we've got some pictures for him to look for. So when will you be on next week?
Next Tuesday, and Eric's going to be coming on pretty soon.
Okay, so if any of the Lanier Vikings know about Elijah Thomas, and if they know anything about Sarossi. Now, I'd like to know, too, how the sales are going on the book.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Let's
Barbara Sarossi is selling the book, How to Survive and Thrive at Work, a guide for teenagers. It's for $8.95. Barbara is Skip's wife. We want to know how book sales are going. We want to know how Skip's doing. And so if any Vikings can call in and offer any information, it'd be appreciated.
Okay, well, I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we have 2 minutes left. We will be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. And I want to thank everybody for calling in, and we will see you next Tuesday. Y'all have a good one.